Okay. In three, two, one.
Hey, Lethal Weapon fans, we are back for Season 1, Episode 13, The Seal is Broken. Stay tuned after the opening.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, AfterBuzzers, we are back, like I said, for Lethal Weapon After Show. What up? Oh, man, it is good to be back. If you can't hear that eerie music in the background, it was because we picked this song because, holy crap, this episode was dark as F. Like, holy crap. I am your host, Alexis Torres. You can find me all over social media at atorres890. That's ATORRES 890. And of course, like I said, I can't do this show by myself because I am Tango and that is Cash over there.
Woo, woo.
What up?
What's going on? It's your boy Chaos J, KAAOSJ on Twitter, and on Instagram you should already know Chaos_Oceans31. Keeping it wavy times 31. Let's get into this because this show was mad dark, but I liked it though. I mean, I like every show, but it was dark.
No, I like this one especially just because it had this. I know we've probably had a serial killer in this show. I feel like all the episodes are kind of mending together now because it's so good. But like this one was creepy, like absolutely creepy.
And I like the light. I don't know if you want to call it a reference to Seven. Because there was a little bit of Seven inspiration in there, at least.
Right? Yeah,
yeah. With him,
with
going after people
sins.
with the sinners and stuff like that. Yeah, it was good.
So definitely, guys, before we get into the episode, definitely don't forget we are obviously live. If you are watching this later, hello, welcome. If you're here, don't forget to talk to us in the live chat. I have it up here as we speak. If you're watching this later, put your comments down below and let us know what you thought of the episode, because this episode was insane, like our killer today. So of course it was called The Seal is Broken, and we got 3 people getting some action in the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
Woo! So we had like 3 different levels of it, of action technically. We had one where we had our victim who was just getting real friendly with his lady friend there.
Man.
I was like,
hey, man,
whoa.
while on the phone.
Hello, beautiful butt.
Cracking
Hello.
the lies. I was just, he was
God.
multitasking.
I know. She was like working him and he's like, oh yeah, hon, sorry, I'm working real late.
These damn traders.
I know. And I was like,
crazy trades.
I bet those are crazy trades right now.
Yeah.
Aren't
Crazy
they?
trades of bodily
Aren't
fluids.
they? Oh, get the hell out of here. And then we had a very sneaky RJ. Okay. Remember how we always talk about rants on this show? Murtaugh is actually not in the doghouse.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Let's get it
This
started.
is probably going to be the only rant, probably. I haven't hit that part yet when I watched the episode, but definitely the only rant I had was with Miss Feather. Look here, little lady.
She was just a little too comfortable.
And a little too free-spirited. Excuse a frickin' moi, okay? Like, I get it. You're a free-spirited,
I got that,
lady.
but let's not forget manners and home training.
Like, I literally could envision my mother just smacking me upside the head as she was saying things that were coming out of her mouth. Like, I thought she looked older than RJ, so it kind of freaked me out a little bit when she was like, we're all adults here. I was like, no, seriously, how old are you? But I forget,
excuse
RJ
me?
is actually 18, so, because he's going to college. Right. So I was like, okay, fine. Technically, they are adults in some way, shape, or form. But boy, you are in my house. You do not be doing all this kind of stuff in my house.
Right, yeah, nah. The freaky deaky does not go down in Pop's house unless you've already gotten the cosign from Pops, which is, I don't know if I've ever heard of that happening where your dad's like, yeah, go ahead, knock them boots in my house while I'm sleeping.
Never.
Okay, but we all know it does happen. My whole thing was 1, shame on you for getting caught.
Yeah, no, for real.
And 2, like, I'm gonna need you to talk to your girl because she was just so comfortable. And let's talk about the fact that not only did she make herself a drink, which okay, fine, whatever. She made herself a drink.
She probably worked real hard.
Smooth out with the glass.
Oh yeah, she wasn't coming back.
That's not your glass. What you doing?
Like, for real. Like, I love how I'm not the one completely ranting. Technically Kelly's ranting.
Like, I'm gonna need that glass. First off, I'm gonna need you to finish that before you leave my house. Cause I'm sorry, glassware is not cheap.
And also not yours.
Yeah, and it's also not yours.
She's technically stealing from a cop.
technically, I'm sure he's not gonna hang her up on that, but just saying, like, again, she was so cozy, and she did not need to be that cozy in his house. I love the whole belt thing, you know.
That was ridiculous.
It was low-key hilarious.
You guys making magical belts? Is that what was happening
Poof,
over here?
where's my belt?
Where's my belt?
Where's my
And I'm
belt?
like, girl, one, I understand that you have a lot of other things on your mind, like saving the planet and stuff. Also, two, boy, you can bring her belt back any freaking time you want. You didn't have to walk down the stairs. Also,
but he wasn't expecting his dad to be up trying to make that turkey sandwich.
He was
make that turkey
again, and the fact that she like walked in there singing with him, I was like, okay, look, one, you haven't even met the parents
yet. You
yet.
don't know me. You don't know me, girl. Like, I'm gonna need you to.
I was so upset.
But then again, like, jumping forward when he's having the conversation with Riggs, and Riggs is like, "Do you love her?" And I'm like, this is an awful heavy conversation, but he's like, "Do you love her?" He's like, "I do. I do."
I love his
And then granted, it was cute. It was like, oh,
Dante.
puppy love. But yo, how long y'all been dating?
We don't know.
That's what I wanted to know.
We don't know. But
and
also remember, they're 18. Love can be like 3 months. Like, hey.
Love can be quicker than 3 months sometimes.
It could be like 2 weeks.
In some circles, like, oh my God, like, I just feel like we're so connected.
Hey, I
don't want to scare you away, but I think I'm falling for you. Like, I think I love you.
A week in or
it's
2
like,
days in.
Wait, like, it was like 2 days.
Yeah,
like
no.
2 days.
Like, can we not? But I know someone who literally they like got together, got married, and had their first kid within 6 months.
Wow.
Yep.
Are they still together?
Oh yeah, very happy.
See, that's when there's always that exception to the rule.
But it's rare.
It's extremely
rare. And also they're much older, so like it makes sense. But like when you're 18,
no,
and you haven't even gone to college yet, like we don't need to go into like too much relationship advice. I'm just letting everybody know, anytime when someone goes, rare cases, if you go to college with your girlfriend or boyfriend, most of the, like 90% of the time that never actually sticks the old way.
It does not.
But if you're rare, because I do know people who've had high school sweethearts and now married to them and have beautiful babies and it's amazing, that's fine. Good for you.
More power to you. More power to you.
But literally 95%, like literally just does not happen.
No,
it does not happen. So,
and at the same time, I hate to say this real quick, you're limiting yourself. I hate when people say it's, oh, you gotta enjoy life, you gotta live a little. There's so much, you still have so much living to do, and really they just mean you have so much freaking to do and hooking up with people.
You don't have to do that.
And you don't necessarily have to do that. But ultimately, at the end of it all, is this, you're young, and while it's great to have love and be in love with someone, you definitely, there's so much that you can learn as you grow up, as you date, as you interact with other people and get into different relationships that you're missing out on.
But again, this is not for everybody. Like I said, there are cases where people do fall in love before college, and then eventually
it works.
And it works. That's fine. And if you want to try that route and see what happens, exactly. And see if it works, and actually try it out, and you actually make it to the end. That's great. Good for you. You did it. You are that rare case.
All we're saying is, RJ, I'm gonna need you to
bring it down.
Pump that brake.
But it's okay because
bring it down.
We're gonna get rid of not rid of RJ, but we're gonna put all of RJ's stories together so that we can get it out of the way.
We're gonna tie it
So
up.
obviously they're having dinner. Trish finds out that she also lost a belt during that time. Little belt buddies here. And she's like, I want to go back to the belt thing. But RJ decides, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to do this woofing thing. If anybody actually knows the acronym, because I actually missed it, please put it in the comments down below.
Yeah, I just want to know what it means.
It was like world something. It had they were pretty much going to go around the world and farm. Like that was what it was. But I couldn't remember for the life of me what the actual acronym stands for. So if you know what it is, put it in the live chat.
Nothing, pause.
No.
Nothing against anyone that wants to do that for the betterment of mankind and everything, but that just sounds so lame to me. I'm sorry.
This is just his opinion.
This is just my opinion, being the city guy.
Yeah.
Coming fresh out of high school, the last thing I'm gonna want to do is travel the world with a girl to go farming. Travel the world with a girl?
But you
maybe.
But you also
to go farming?
I think
so.
But you also know the power that a female can do on you.
This is true. She's like, baby, we just gonna go watch this paint dry and we gonna plant grass seeds. I'm like, yeah, girl, whatever you want to do. Whatever you.
I'm just saying
This sounds like the best idea ever.
The power of a female anything can just persuade the toughest man. So I get where RJ's come from, especially because he's getting it on the regular, clearly. So I'm like, okay. But yes, I agree with Trish and you and Roger at the fact that, dude, you're young. Sure, I understand you want to travel the world. That's fine. But maybe you could do both. You can farm and do college. Like I feel
like he said, you can have your own garden, so we don't have to pay for a meal plan.
I would love that. Are you kidding me? I love to cook, so I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. But also it depends on where you go to college. I don't think Princeton has like a personal garden for you to go. But
I'm sure their cafeteria is not slacking
amazing
in the food category.
But if anyone went to Princeton who can know, you should let us know. So obviously Riggs just going through a hard time because he also got action this past one. Not technically completely all there.
Yeah, he was a little intoxicated.
He was a lot, actually.
He was a lot.
He's a little so he doesn't remember, and of course this immediately puts him into a downward spiral because he believes that he cheated on his wife, which I understand where he's coming from. Technically, they're not divorced or anything, so in his brain, he's still married to Mariana.
No,
Miranda.
I think it's Miranda.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Miranda.
Sorry. I just want to make sure. And so I understand where he's coming from right now, and we get perspective, actually, of how long she's been gone, which was a year and a day. So I get it, but at the same time, no, she would understand. I don't think she would be upset that you've decided to move on, whether it was a one night stand or if this person you're going to start a relationship with them. Me personally, but again, grieving can take as long as you want. So if this is something that you feel like you messed up in, you need to talk to a therapist. That's what Dr. Cahill's for, and work through it. So I'm just going to put that pin in there and move on. But he comes over to the Murtaugh house, tells him that New Zealand's amazing, which it is, and Wellington is a great place to go. It starts up a little weird because he brought 6-7 bottles. Like there was like four.
There was like 3 mini bottles.
There's 3 mini bottles.
Then I want to say it was like at least 2 large bottles,
and then 2 beers.
So
that's a lot of alcohol.
That's a lot of drink.
Yeah, and the fact that I'm assuming he finished all of it. That's a lot. That's like, that's how you get blackout drunk.
Pretty much.
Straight up.
That's how you wake up in the morning and you have some random hot chick bartender in your bed in your trailer on the beach.
Yep.
And you don't really remember how you got there.
Yeah.
That's how that happens.
Yeah. But pretty much, I'm assuming at the bar he had beer and liquor, and there's that whole rhyme. I'm not going to do it. You can look it up. And so.
See, now I want to know because this is when I'm like, wait, what is that?
You've never heard the rhyme?
No.
Really?
I promise you I haven't.
It's liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor makes you sicker.
Oh!
So
learn something new every day.
Really?
And I actually drink.
Yeah.
Not like that.
No. I don't think anybody.
I'm like a social drinker. Like, if I'm out with friends and hey, I'll have a couple drinks. But,
yeah. So if you have.
I'm not even really a beer guy though.
Yeah,
so I'm more of a cocktail guy.
No, it's fine. But yeah, like if you decided, like let's say you're going to like a Super Bowl party and there's liquor and beer, you're supposed to have beer before liquor, and you're in the clear. Wait. Did I say that right?
Hold on. Said liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
Sorry, switch it. My bad. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
You about
so that's
to have
fine.
A bunch of people drunk.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, beer before liquor makes you sicker. So yeah, that was the more you know, guys. So the fact that he was mixing and you couldn't really tell like what he was starting with and what he was. He had some very weird advice with RJ, but also at the same time he's like extreme.
Never let it go.
Yeah, which I understand. We all understand that because of the fact that he's talking about his wife. I love that Trish and Murtaugh were like, "Hey, we should make sure he doesn't drive, make sure he doesn't go anywhere, make sure he sleeps on the couch." And he sets up his little cocoon on the couch, and he hides his keys and takes. He tried to take liquor, but then Roger switched it out. It was just really cute seeing them just know each other. It was adorable. And And sadly enough, at the very end of the episode, we find out because Trish is like, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's give it time. Let's find out, what feather
and then
RJ.
she also, and then real quick, just to interrupt, she also says, let's not push because he's just going to push back.
But it's true. That's smart advice. You shouldn't sit there and try to hammer into your kids with one thing because most of the time kids will do the opposite. Exactly. So especially because he's 18, so he's probably like, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm an adult. So you're like, all right, buddy, let's scale it back. But pretty much Roger was looking at it going, there's so much money. We can go on a cruise around the world 9 times. And I was like, God, Bridgerton is expansive.
It is. It's a fancy education.
Heck yeah. And I love how, right as they were like, let's just wait. Because, I have a feeling that RJ might change his mind.
Right.
Feather just broke up with me. Oh, maybe sooner than we thought. Oh, it's okay, baby. Come here.
It's all right,
okay.
baby. And then Riggs had good, Murtaugh had, good advice. You're gonna meet a dozen other feathers. Feather, granted, props. Feather was fine.
Hell yeah, she was.
Mighty fine. But FYNE. But yes, she's not the only fish in the sea. And just chalk it up as a learning lesson. Better to love and lose than not love at all. So
correct.
There you go.
Very nice, Kelly. I liked that. But yeah, it's just, and also I'm like, boy, you are 18. As soon as you go to Princeton, especially with that face, get the hell out of here. You'll be
seriously
fine. So RJ is heartbroken, but he will definitely get it mended, especially after the fact that he, you're going to college, and then obviously Riggs was like, Rio. That's how it's going to be fun. And he's like, but college in Rio. And he's like, and Murtaugh was like, no, that's not happening.
No,
also, don't send your boy there for college because, oh my God, that boy's going to get someone pregnant so quick.
Pregnant and not really learn much at all.
No, he's just going to be partying the entire time.
Much.
It is quite the city. But anyway, speaking of the city, LA is in shambles because our cheater earlier today, because he was married, got pretty much center scraped into his back and also was faked an OD of heroin.
Yeah.
Which we had coming. His name was Dale. I have it here. Dale Reynolds. And apparently he slept with a girl named Cynthia, who the guy that he had a restraining order, Ben Garvey. Apparently,
that was her
brother. Yeah, that was Cynthia's brother, and he had her on heroin and she OD'd. So we were like, that's quite a quinky dink. Maybe we should check into that. Ben Garvey couldn't have done it because we had a second victim, which I did not write down her name, but she was a woman who took care of.
She was like a hospice nurse.
Yes, at a senior facility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And apparently she was playing Angel of Death, which happens quite a bit in those types of environments or hospitals or something like that, where she suffocated an old lady to get her life insurance. Holy crap. So the same killer buried her alive to have her suffocate to death.
Very fitting.
And also what really freaked me, I don't know if anybody else jumped, but when she when she gasped for air, I jumped when I was watching. So,
but I was waiting for it.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
I was not
waiting
for it. I thought she was dead, and I was like, "Cool, victim number 2, let's go."
I was waiting. I was waiting for that, and I kept thinking, okay, did she go to sleep because of the lack of oxygen? But it was still enough oxygen that she was still able to be alive.
Yeah.
And then but it's like, your body starts to kind of reduce everything and start to shut down and all that.
Dead.
And I just started getting real scientific.
She was pale.
And I should have hit up our man Scorsese, but
I know
I didn't think about it.
We only got to see him for a little bit. I was quite sad about that. I was like,
because he would have been able to explain that.
Yeah, I mean, I was glad that he was able to explain at least the fact that that he
the OD was staged.
Yes,
right.
Because the fact that which I did notice when he did say it was that the tourniquet's on the outside. So again, another lesson: people should not do this because obviously don't do drugs, but if a person was doing that, the tourniquet would be on the inside because you'd have to tie it like this. Mm-hmm. You can't tie a tourniquet this way.
Nope, you can't.
So
I tried. I'm joking. No, I didn't.
Really?
No, I'm joking. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I do know how to apply a tourniquet in first aid, though.
Yes.
In first aid.
Not drugs.
Not drugs. Just to save lives.
But it also shows that our killer is also kind of amateur-ish because of the fact that he didn't pick up on stuff like that. So, I mean, again, not saying that, oh yeah, if you're gonna kill somebody, make sure you play the details. Like, no, like, don't do that. But, oh, Valerie Roach is her name. Thank you. Is that D-Style? Yes, it was. Thank you very much. But yes, Billie Jean girl in the chat was like, when she gasped, I literally yelled, vampire! Because she was pretty pale. So
she was very pasty. Kind of like Riggs' legs.
Let's talk about them shorts. So, because he was in a panic, I love how he was like, there's some OJ in the fridge. You know what? Don't drink that.
I was just kind of disappointed in his excuse. Like, dude, just say, yo, like,
cop.
I'm a cop. Like, just drop it. Drop that on her. He's, I've got that thing that I just forgot. Like, here we go.
I'm like,
That's the most generic cut out getaway excuse
I've got this thing. It's real special. It's real important. I gotta
forgot, but it's so special that I forgot about it until just right now.
Come on, dude.
Okay,
like,
anyway.
all you have to go is, hey, I'm a cop. I gotta go to work. Bye.
Boom. Valerie Roach. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Valerie Roach was the one that was doing that, but they all conveniently went to the same church. What had to do with this father who pretty much was just like, yes, they come to confession. That's what they do, and everything's confidential because, whatever they say. It is,
and I get that. There's just a small part of me that wanted him to be a little more forthcoming, if that was even possible.
Well, the bad thing is,
I just felt like he was just like. I don't know. I mean, I get it.
No. I completely agree with you, because I feel like if you're a priest and you hear that somebody committed a crime, as much as I know that it's supposed to be confidential and you're supposed to let it go technically, because you can't just be going to the cops all willy-nilly going, I heard that this guy admitted to me that he did this. So
like, he stole a honey bun when he was 7. You should probably look into that, although he's 39 now.
Yeah, you know, like stuff like that. But obviously if someone has murdered somebody, I don't know, maybe you should say something. But I'm assuming that we'll get into the reason of why this is a thing, that probably he didn't know that the dad murdered his mom. So whatever. But when they go to the church the first time and there's that guy who's like, oh, we're having soup today for the homeless or whatever, I was like, because as most crime shows work, it's always the person that you either think that doesn't matter because they're only in the shot for like a few seconds, or they are a person that that's in the show a lot, but they're not what's the word, they're not like, there's not a spotlight on them. Right. So you're like, wait a minute. So when they saw him and they kind of like talked to him for like a little bit, I was like, this guy did it. But that was me though, because I was just like, I've seen too much stuff. I know. SVU has ruined my life. And so after the second person, they went back to the same priest and was like, hey, like, how convenient is it that 2 of the people who go to your parish are being killed off and called sinners? And of course he's like, what do you want me to do about it? And in my brain I was going, if it's not that guy that I pointed out earlier, it has to be the priest.
Right.
So I don't know. And
now that would have been a nice little twist.
Can you imagine, like, he was actually trying to play like, not like a vigilante, but the fact that he was like, I'm writing the twist. Yeah, but instead they decide to go check out that confessions booth because they're like, maybe someone's listening in on it. And this is where it gets a little deep, which is where Riggs, when he was drunk, he did admit that that he did feel like he cheated on his wife. We talked about that. And then he kind of goes a little bit into detail about it in the confession booth as they're looking. And then Murtaugh's just talking and talking and talking.
He was kind of having a moment.
And I understand. You know, like, he's like, I'm, but I hate it because, like, he was like, I totally understand where, that, what you're feeling and everything. And then as soon as the music started up and he's like, but I'm so honored. And I was like, oh my God, get out of your own ass, Murtaugh. We get it, okay? We get it. Sorry, I guess he's not out of the doghouse completely, but yes, he has one foot out. Because Roger was just talking. And I'm like, dude, don't you think that Riggs would be saying something, or at least pretending that he's listening by going, yup, sure, like something. Right. It was bone quiet in there. You can hear a fly fart, but it was so quiet.
There's been multiple times where I'm on the phone and I'm just going and going and going, and then I'm like, and then it hits me like, this person's awful quiet. Yeah. And then I look and I'm like, oh man, my phone dropped the call. Yeah. I've been talking to myself for the last 5 minutes. Then I get angry because I'm like, why didn't you call me back?
Yeah.
Because then that would have let me know that I was talking to myself.
I was talking to myself.
Yeah, so...
Again, it was so quiet in that confessional booth, you can hear a fly fart. Like, it's stupid. And so, whatever. So, clearly, Riggs found a microphone, followed the wires to where they lead. They went down to, it looks like the basement or something like that, and they found the mother of all psycho havens of this guy who was listening to the confessionals, which was our guy at the soup kitchen, which I don't think, his name is Ruben, and he just took it upon himself that he needed to right the wrongs because no one righted the wrongs of his abusive father.
Right.
So I'm just trying to get all my thoughts together because it was a really crazy ending. So they pretty much follow Ruben. Oh, no. They find out that the priest is actually missing, like
right.
MIA, and they
just
find out
vanished.
Yeah, and they find out about Ruben because of the fact that he, like we said, he had an abusive father who pretty much beat his wife, Ruben's mother, 39 times until she died.
Yeah. What about?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is insane. And so the fact that he had to probably watch this, he couldn't do anything about it, and I guess the dad admitted not to killing the wife, but the fact that he was confessing the fact that he beats his family pretty much, and the priest didn't do anything about it. Which I would like to know your insight on that. Do you think the priest was in the right to not say anything and just kind of hope that he will find his way? Or do you think the priest should have called the police?
I feel like in that situation, if he says, yeah, I feel bad, I beat my wife, I beat my kid, but then they have some sort of a dialogue to which is like, you should try to not work on that, repent for your sins, boom, boom, boom. If there were a follow-up, then everything was back on the up and up, then cool, I'm not going to say anything. But if there's no follow-up, as if he doesn't do another confessional, I'm going to follow up and say, hey, like, how's everything going? Have things gotten better? Boom, boom, boom. And if he doesn't, then yo, I'm snitching on you, bro.
Yeah, the sad thing is we actually didn't get any details to see if he actually did go back and confess, if he actually even came back to the church at all. We just know that he definitely did admit that he does beat his son and his wife, and it was a whole thing. So hence why Ruben took the priest and was going to punish him for the fact of not doing anything to save.
He was going to make him suffer the same way his mother suffers. Yeah.
And the fact that he only got 11 hits in, and he's like, my mother, like the fact that he said that his mother lasted the 39 times you can too, that was, I mean, we already knew that he was already crazy, but that line and how he delivered it, I was like, oh my God, this show is, whoa. Like, I was, like, my mind was blown because it was so creepy, and it really showed how crazy this person was. Yeah. Luckily enough, they made it. Riggs and Murtaugh made it there in time. Riggs follows Ruben up to the roof, and he says, I'm going to be with God. This is where I was like, boy, no, that is not how that works. Just because you've decided to play God doesn't mean you get to go to heaven after that.
Yeah, no.
Just saying.
No, and then it always just irks my skin, or just ruffles my feathers and irks my nerves. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
In real life, and in TV, when the bad guy gets the cop out and they get to either kill themselves or something like that, like, nah, I want you to get punished. I want you to go to jail, do the time, all that jazz, whatever the case is. I feel like that's just such a cop-out when they're like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself now. And it's like, it's like you kind of low-key get away with what you did. Yeah,
I mean, if you do believe in religion, whatever it is, technically he will be suffering for the rest of his soul, pretty much. So there's that, technically. But that's as much peace as you can give your mind on that issue, sadly enough. But yeah, I feel the same way to a point of just the fact of, like, I feel like that was a terrible way to go.
Right.
But at the same time, again, as a person who's had to deal with religion and Christianity and Catholicism, from my fiance's family and from my family, I'm just assuming that he's just gonna suffer for the rest of his days. But pretty much that was the episode. They obviously knew because they got a confession from him, and obviously he jumped off a roof with no problem. And we had a moment. We had a really tender, weird moment between Murtaugh and Riggs where he's like, I'm not letting go. Raj, just let go. I'm not letting go. And I was like, am I watching Titanic? Like, I don't understand what's happening. I wanted like that whistle to come up.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. I was really sad.
And then he starts hitting him to try and
he
get him to let him go.
He punched him
and I get it because he's
face.
like, look, if I'm gonna go, I'm not bringing you with me. You got a family.
And they just talked about that too.
But no. I'm glad that they fell in the tree because they ended up both falling.
They did. Also, did Murtaugh fall on his manhood? It seemed like he landed like that, and I was like,
it kind of did. Yeah,
ow!
it kind of did. But
he didn't really
I
say
don't
anything.
know.
And I was like, all right, sure, whatever. And I love how he's like, Raj, did you know that tree was there? And he's just like, I can't believe you hit me. And I was like, and we're back. Nothing has changed.
Right.
We're back to being best friends now, even though you almost, killed me or whatever. But I love that. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But I love at the very end because our captain was checking up on them.
I was just about
go into
see? Tango and Cash.
Yeah, I know. Always
right here. Because I was just
Great
about to bring
minds. Go for it. Go.
Go. It's all you. No, please.
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay, fine. They talk about how he's doing, and I kind of like skimmed over it, but what is his name? I had it here. Oh, City Attorney Ronnie Delgado, who is Miranda's father, wanted to check up on Riggs, not because he was in trouble. He just wanted to check up on him because he's his father-in-law and he misses him. The captain's like, is he getting worse? What's going on? Well, I mean, it's Riggs. It depends on the day. Like, sometimes he drinks, sometimes he doesn't. I don't know. And he's like, so he's getting worse. And it's just, and I love that they had the interaction of like, we can't tell the city attorney what's happening. Yeah, no, we're not saying anything. And they just kind of moved on. But we had that sweet moment of Riggs telling Ronnie that I can't see you guys anymore. And it was rough to see that happen. I don't know if we're ever gonna get a resolve if maybe Ronnie's gonna try and push more to be part of his life, whether he likes it or not, or if he's actually just gonna back off.
Yeah.
Do you think it's best?
No, I don't. I think that's a relationship and a connection that definitely should not be neglected. Mm-hmm. I get that, again, as with the grieving and the healing, that it's going to take some time.
Yep.
But I mean, something like that, I still feel like there should be some kind of a contact.
I agree.
That doesn't mean you got to see him every week, but there should still be something.
Yeah.
Because that was your family at some point and could still be considered your family.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Roddy said. He's like, your family, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, no, she's your family. You're not my family. And I'm like, but you don't have family.
And that kind of cut me deep.
Yeah, it hurt a lot.
Did.
And
so,
it made,
yeah.
No, I was going to say it made sense why he was drinking so much on Friday.
Right.
Was because that it was the year and a day.
Right.
Which is supposed to be the toughest time, I believe, for anyone who's lost somebody, whether it's their wife, kid, whatever. And they wanted to spend that day together. Like, they even scheduled it out that they wanted to do that. And Riggs missed out on that. So, yeah, I'm on the same boat with you. I think that he shouldn't cut his father-in-law out, but I don't, Riggs is a stubborn jackass, so I don't know if that's, I don't know what we're going to do. Yeah. I'm trying to see. Oh, and I love that. I wrote in my notes, look who's drinking now, Daddy-O, because he was also drinking at that same watering hole. So I felt really bad that they had that weird bonding moment and it didn't happen. I just want Riggs to feel better. But you know what's not going to make me feel better? We have 2 weeks off.
We do.
We will not be having Lethal Weapon for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So brace yourselves. It's going to be rough, but we're going to get through it, and we're going to get through it together. And don't forget, you can always hit us up on social media.
But I have a little bit of news and gossip before we leave, because there was one news article that came out this week, and then I also have some surprises for you, and I have surprises for our fans. So that news and gossip time, let's do it. Oh, there's Amelia Bird. So there was something in the Daily News that came out, if anybody actually found it. Our awesome actor, Clayne Crawford, who plays Riggs, got confused for Leonardo DiCaprio on set by an actual LAPD cop.
Oh, wow.
Yup. I'm about to read this real quick. So during filming of Lethal Weapon, a LAPD officer crashed the set, not like actually crashed, like she came over, and got into one of the scenes, causing the director to call off filming until the cop was out of the way, according to TMZ. The officer didn't care, though. She was trying to get a closer look to Johnny Depp. She felt it was all worth it because the star smiled and waved at her. But sadly, she was mistaken, as the star who actually waved at her was the actor Clayne Crawford. Depp wasn't even starring in the Fox TV's reboot of this classic film. Law enforcement officials told TMZ that an officer did in fact cause disruption on the set, but it is unclear if she did anything more than just get in the way. And then filming was resumed after she left. But you can see, I can totally see why, if you look at their pictures side by side, how you can mess that up.
Yeah.
But girl, like, they're filming, like, come on. Why?
Wait till you hear cut.
Yeah, at least, or just hang out, and then if you see them moving around, like, that's fine. But I have an awesome giveaway since we're going to be off for 2 weeks. You guys already know the drill. Anytime that you guys leave an iTunes review, we're going to do giveaways. So, again, you got to go to iTunes.com. Type in Lethal Weapon After Show or AfterBuzz TV and find us. Excuse me. And if we will pick someone after the 2 weeks that is up, you leave 5-star rating, 4-star rating, because the other stars do not work, and tell us why you love Lethal Weapon and what Tango and Cash can work on for the show. So if you do that, you will be getting a signed picture from our awesome, amazing...
Watch out.
Trish Murtaugh. And she's amazing, and she was able... It's Keisha Sharp who signed these, and she loves you. And yeah, you can get 2 winners.
Bam.
So one person. Also, don't forget to be following both Kelli and I on Twitter. Make sure to use the hashtag after ABTV Lethal Weapon. So we'll definitely take a picture and we'll make sure to put the rules out and stuff. But guess what? She didn't just leave just for the fans.
Uh-oh.
She got us stuff too.
Hey,
there you go,
gotta love that swag.
Thank you, Keisha Sharp. But yes, again, go to iTunes. Find
You got
Lethal
my
Weapon.
name on it.
I know. That's your name
Spelled
on everything. I think she wrote a note for yours. I think it says like love something.
Love your work.
Yes.
Hey.
I love it. So again, go to iTunes. Definitely go there. Rate and subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a comment why you love Lethal Weapon, and don't forget to follow Tango and Cash. These
All
guys
day.
right here, us. And then make sure to use the hashtag after you've posted, and even do a screenshot because sometimes they don't update fast enough. But again, you guys have 2 weeks. 2 weeks. There is no excuses. If you miss out, you miss out, bro. Like, that's how that works. But again, there's going to be 2 winners. So hit it up, man. All right. So that was pretty much it. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Shout out to Tanya.
Yeah, who got us the photos. You're
shout
amazing.
out to Tanya. You're amazing. And I found those karaoke videos.
Shut
so
up,
I got
are you serious?
I will be posting those hopefully before the weekend is over.
Oh my God. Fantastic.
So just FYI.
No, I love that. I'm really glad. We love you, Tanya. Thank you for helping us out. All right, guys. So that is it for us today. Again, we only have there's only 2 weeks off. We will be back in 2 weeks to talk about the awesome stalker who's going to be stalking.
Dr. Clayhill.
Yeah. Which is going to be, it looks intense to me.
It does. And it looks like it's also like a kind of an opening for her and Riggs to get a little closer, which I was always, championing for anyway.
Heck yeah. So I'm hoping that maybe we get a little bit of that ship in there. I don't even know what their ship name would be. Riggs Hill? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. If you guys know the ship, tweet it at us. Don't forget, ABTV Lethal Weapon. And where can they find you on Twitter to send you that ship?
They can find me at KAAOSJ. That's right, Chaos J.
And you can find me at Torres890. Again, we are off for 2 weeks. So don't forget to hit up those iTunes reviews. Talk to us for the next 2 weeks because we're going to be going through Lethal Weapon withdrawal because we love the show, man. No, none of that. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.
Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.